You and Tammy go with Vivian and a few newly manufactured robots to an upscale hotel with good Wi-Fi for an evening. Tammy proceeds to use the network vulnerabilities to take over all the other guests' tablets, computers and Wi-Fi connected smartphones, then bootstraps from those machines to take over several corporate and home network routers. That should give us enough IP addresses to work with on our end, Tammy says. Then she pulls out an old, crumpled piece of paper with more network addresses on it. Let's see how many of these things still work. You're impressed. Within about a half an hour, Vivian and the other robots are using their parallel processing power to attack a government network while making it look like a Chinese cyber attack, all from the comfort of a hotel with one of those nice, long, cylindrical pillows on the bed that you can lean back on. Vivian seems intensely focused on the act of coordinating the other robots. It seems to be an interesting challenge for her, plus to Grace. I suppose this is the sort of thing you did for the government, you say to Tammy, but I thought you did robotics. Yes, but it wasn't our robots I was controlling, Tammy says absently. Finally, Vivian says, Success, Master. The server is talking back to me. Good, Tammy says. Route it to my computer. Tammy scans her laptop and gradually her face falls. Oh, what have I done? She buries her face in her hands. What is it, you say? Threat level low, Tammy murmurs through fingers. They never cared about what I did at all until now. Well, don't delay, hang up and let's get out of here. Or well, as long as we're in, can we look at some other people's database entries? Or I quietly slip out of the door with Vivian, leaving Tammy to get caught. Well, don't delay, hang up and let's get out of here. Tammy shakes her head as if to clear it. Right, sorry. She types a little more and slams the laptop shut. Smoke begins to issue from the laptop. I executed the special binary that makes the CPU overheat, Tammy says proudly. There will be no trace. A loud klaxon suddenly sounds, making Tammy leap from the bed. Relax, is the fire alarm, you say. It probably smelled your laptop prying itself. Just keep cool and follow me out. The triggering of the fire alarm appears to work just as well as it did in high school for creating general havoc, and the two of you escape with Lillian and the other robots as everybody else files out of their rooms as well. I am sorry, Tammy says. I feel like a fool. They were making us criminals because of my stupid paranoia. You had to know, you say. I understand that. Tammy gives you a crushing hug. Thank you. Some days after that, while Ellie is out, you have a visitor at your apartment, a man in a suit who shows you an FBI badge. Sorry to bother you. I'd like to ask you some questions about your wife, Ellie. Vivian walks up beside you. What's going on, Master? Are you aware that Ellie is a Chinese citizen? Asks the man in the suit. Well, I know. The agent raises his eyebrows at this. And I have in my notes that Ellie used to work for your company Vivian works. What is this about? You ask, finally, losing your patience. It is illegal to export certain technologies by sharing them with foreign nationals, the agent says. As a supplier to the United States military, your technology falls into this category. But she doesn't work for me anymore. Doesn't matter, the agent says. Your technology is military grade, and we must take every precaution. So if you could do us a favor and text Ellie to come here. And then what happens? That is not your concern. Oh my god. Well, this time I don't think that Juliet will help us. She hates us at this point, basically, so we cannot do that. I have a question for you first. Are you the good guys or just some guys? Or text Major Rogers and ask her to intervene. Or text Ellie and tell her to come here, as the agent is requesting. Or text Ellie telling her that the feds are after her. Or refuse to cooperate until the agent leaves. Or I tell Lillian to attack the agent. Well, we asked for her green card and she's married to me. So... I don't know. Man, I'm kinda... Tammy is great. Ellie is great. Well, you know, if we want Ali to become a US citizen, we really need her to cooperate with the government. The agent says, this is SAPPHIRE. Well, she's my wife. I'm married to her, so... We have the president as well on our side, so I think that we might... Let's ask him if we are the good guys, or some guys. The agent smile is bitter, we're just some guys. Oh my god, no! Well, I don't think Major Roger is going to help us. If we ask Ellie to come here. I don't know, man, I don't know. This is so tricky. I'm gonna really regret this one, but you know, we asked for her green card and Jesus. I don't know. I'm telling her that let's ask Major Rogers. She's not gonna. You text Major Rogers explaining the situation, there is no response. Yeah, she won't help us. Telling Ali to run away, she will get caught, you know, and that's just suspicious. I know, man, I'm so afraid. You text Ali telling her to come to your apartment. She texts back that she will be over shortly. After 5 minutes of asking the agent questions that gets evasive answers, Ali texts you, here. Stay right where you are, the agent instructs you. It's safest in here. Stay where you are. You hear Ellie yell, help! Oh no! I'm gonna stand up. You get up and the agent quickly pulls a pistol and aims at your chest. You can hear him release the safety. Just another moment, if you please, the agent says. Help, Ellie yells outside. Rudolph, help! I keep my hands in the air and do nothing. You feel an immense sense of helplessness as Ali cries die out. Thank you for your cooperation, the agent says. He turns to leave. Wait, what now, you say? Will she get a trial? A jury is a privilege of American citizens, the agent says coolly. If you don't get jury duty, you don't necessarily get a jury. The agent leaves. You go to the window, but all you can see now is a black van he climbs into. You think that may be the last you ever see of Ellie. Your heart feels as it may burst. You have never felt so helpless. Lillian puts a hand on your shoulder as you fight the urge to cry. You go to your room, and when you see Alice things there, you finally let go and weep. Lillian works as well, supplying the military with robots, and you reap some of the profits, plus free wealth. It's doing well enough that you could develop some robots on the side that are not necessarily destined for military clients. Oh my god, no. Are they not going to send... Oh god. Oh wow, what have I done? I should have told her to leave. I'm gonna develop better medical robots to help those hurt by drone bombing runs. Chinese drones often perform long-distance bombing runs on American bases in South Korea and Alaska, and families of service people are sometimes caught in the blast. You perfect a new line of robotic surgeons that can remove shrapnel with a minimum degree of intrusiveness. Your robots do very well, and you hang letters from grateful patients on the bulletin board in your office, plus 2 wealth. The war is apparently in a stalemate, with both sides unable to gain much ground. Turns out the Pacific Ocean is pretty good at discouraging equal and matched countries from attacking each other. A few days later, while you're discussing business strategy with Josh in his 14th floor office, you get a call from Mark on your smartphone. The video is quite high resolution and you can see bags under his eyes and beard stubble with high fidelity. I'm writing a story about a Chinese soldier who was killed by one of your company's robots, Mark says. His name is Bao Li, and he was going to be a science fiction novelist until he was conscripted for the military. The precision of the bullet holes in his face and body suggests it was a Livian Works robot that killed him. Do you have any comments? That's not possible, we're only providing non-violent support to the military. There's a crunch for soldiers, so they've been repurposing your robots to fight, Mark tells you. Don't tell me you didn't know. You must have guessed something like this could happen. You really didn't know. It's so easy in a company to lose sight of the big picture and focus on your intermediate deadliness, or your immediate deadlines, rather than what your product is being used for in the wild. But you didn't tell Mark this because it just makes you look bad. At any rate, now, you certainly do know, Mark says. Any comment? Send me the article, I'll express my condolences. You read Mark's article about Bao. He apparently became interested in writing science fiction after reading a Chinese novel called 2066, Red Star Over America, about the future collapse of the United States and the rise of China. Bao had expressed frustration that the novel avoided some of the hard questions about how the nation can be a superpower, and he wanted to write a novel about the real cost of war. That was one of the reasons why he didn't run when he was conscripted. I'm learning a lot about robots, he wrote back to his family, but there is still much I don't understand about them, such as whether they feel pain or if it's all an illusion. I think I want to write a story about this when I return. You think the article exaggerates the boy's promise as a writer. It doesn't say he ever published anything. Maybe he would have just gotten a job in a factory when he returned, but he was definitely shot dead by a robot of your design. Your intention to supply non-violent robots to the military appears to have been ignored, as the robots was retrofitted with a gun. What quote will you give Mark? Young people like Bao are dying on our side too. Let's remember them as well. Future advances should make it possible for our robots to detect that soldiers like Bao don't pose a threat. I can wash my hands of the blood of this young man. I will always remember him. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the last one. The mangled body of Bao Li haunts your dreams for many nights to come. Rattled by your conversation with Mark, you make some phone calls and request some military briefings about how your robots are being applied. You discover that your robots are anything but non-violent in the field, as the bullet-pointed presentations bluntly describe. They have taken the fluidity of motion that you gave your robots and applied it to the battlefield maneuverability. They have taken your robot's ability to understand people and turned it into the ability to predict where their targets will run. They have taken your robot's creativity and applied it to bombing tactics that leave the enemy nowhere to hide. You now understand how all of your robot's best attributes can be used for war. You cannot unsee the applications of your technology. Even your most innocent innovations have helped power the machinery of war. Plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 military. Oh my god. Will you cease to supply the military with robots now that you know they will not simply be used for non-violent purposes? Yes, I won't be part of this any longer. No, I can't put the genie back in the bottle. No, if they are going to use the robots for military purposes, I may as well make them better at it. Oh god. Now this is a question. Now at this point, if it was me, I would just say yes, I won't be part of this any longer. But I think I'm just losing my mind over Ellie. I don't know how this can be. Like... No, I can put... No, if they're going to use the robots for military purposes, I may as well make them better at it. This is generally the person who's going insane from the fear and anger. this is a person who is just going to get more and more desperate. Well, they took ally from me, so I will take my robots away from them. Yes, I won't be part of this any longer. Once you explain to Josh that the robots are being misapplied, he reluctantly nods. I know it's more important to you that we don't fight. I'll support your decision. You let the military contract run out. The war ends in a stalemate, with each country unable to extend enough power to the other continent to continue the assault. A truce is negotiated in which Taiwan remains independent, and the trade sanctions of both countries are lifted. The treaty also defines industry sectors where robot labor is forbidden and a minimum wage is established, so both countries can have a middle class again. Both countries proceed to break the spirit of the treaty, but in different ways, and life goes on. Now that the war is over, what will you do? I have developed the algorithm that will end war forever, requires grace 22. I want to build a robot that knows how to love, requires empathy 20. It will begin a rebellion in Alaska, requires military 20. I'm afraid I've done all I can. My time to influence history has passed. I'm gonna go with this one. End war forever. Because it's like the only thing I can do. There's something that's been nagging you all along about this war. It just seems so inefficient, senseless. And if there's one thing you know, it's how to make things act optimally. You retreat into your apartment to think about what should be done about it. You think for a long time. And when you're done, you write. The paper you write starts as a kind of pure mathematics paper about how to efficiently solve optimization problems. It's the kind of mathematics you develop originally to make Lillian move as efficiently as possible. But in the paper, you go on to explain how the mathematics can also be used to move goods, set policy, and satisfy people's desires as efficiently as possible. In other words, the normal functioning of a government. Anyone who reads the paper will understand instantly that human government is an obsolete technology. Trying to set policy with human thought is like trying to hammer a nail with a fist. On its publication, the paper is both celebrated and reviled. Political scientists mock it, calling it a pipe dream. Computer scientists celebrate it, saying that it solves many outstanding problems in mechanism design. Pretty soon, every intellectual of any stripe is expected to have an opinion about it, even if they don't understand it, plus for fame. Intelligent robots around the world adopt your paper's principles. It tends to make them right all the time about everything. Pretty soon, people are looking to robots all the time for what they should do. The human government doesn't go away, but it starts to look more and more like a vestigial organ. Robots start taking pretty good care of humanity. This upsets some people. Chapter 6a, Grace. We're gonna do that next time. For now, I'm gonna end it and go drink my sorrow in a bottle of whiskey because we lost Ali and the military abused us. Everything just went horrifyingly wrong at this point. And it makes me happy to know how, things work, but I still hope that we might, rejoin Ali at a certain point. But I just feel so angry that they didn't give me any option to intervene. For example, we know the president, for God's sakes. And, there should be some way how you could alter this. I just should have warned her. It's what I should have done. I just hope she can forgive me.